Perez, and this is my testimony.
¡Dímelo, corillo! Bienvenido a un nuevo podcast. Mi nombre es Iván Rodríguez, para los que no me conocen. Dios me los bendiga, Dios me los guarde mucho a todos. Hoy me encuentro con...
Yari.
Y también ando con...
Jaden Perez.
Así que nosotros somos...
The Joy Podcast.
Bueno, hoy tenemos de invitado a...
Derek Rivera.
Tenemos invitado a Derek.
Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
Y hoy vamos a estar entrevistando a Jaden Perez.
Yes.
Va a estar contándonos parte de su testimonio y de su vida, lo que vivió. Y pues vamos a esto. Primero vamos a empezar básico. El primer video de testimonio fue para mí. Ahora te toca a ti, como quien dice, seguir esa continuidad de los videos. Y la primera pregunta que te tenemos para ti es, ¿de dónde eres?
I'm from Florida, and I've been here my whole life. I just been moving around and I always been
Diferentes
here
partes
though.
de Florida.
Yeah. I've been in Miami, Davie.
Where were you born though?
¿En qué parte de Florida naciste?
I was born in Longwood, somewhere near Orlando.
Oh,
yeah, I never was raised there. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ok. So, siempre has estado en Florida toda tu vida. Nunca has ido a viajar.
Well, I went to Texas for a year. I lived there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ok. ¿Te acuerdas de dónde te criaste?
Where you got
Where
raised?
I was raised for like 10 years of my life in Miami.
In Miami?
Yeah.
So
When did you move to Daytona though?
I moved to Deltona like middle school, 7th grade.
7th grade.
And then I went to Texas, 8th grade, then I came back and I did my whole high school years Deltona.
How was your childhood?
Good. It was good.
It was good? What you
it was
used to
moving
do?
a lot. We were moving so much, just...
Do you play any sports?
No, I never played like a professional, like high school, never played. I played basketball for fun.
Yeah, it was just like a hobby?
Yeah, little hobby.
All right. Did you have like a stable, like a house, like a stable parent, stable house? Or was it always like different? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what's coming this year?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, my mother, she did what she had to do, but we was definitely moving a lot. She bouncing around. We were just doing a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Ok. Dijiste que te criaste en Miami y después de Miami viniste aquí a Deltona.
Yeah.
¿Te gustaba más allá en Miami? Oh.
I mean, yeah, I definitely liked it Miami, but Deltona, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool.
¿Cómo conociste a Dios?
Like how I found the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, I had moved to Texas. I was like 13 years old. In Texas, I stayed there for a year. I was staying with my dad for 1 year. That was after a long time not seeing him. I haven't seen him for
So
like
before you
13
continue,
years.
you were in Miami.
I was in Miami.
And then you moved to Texas.
No, we went to Davie, and then we went to Broward, and then we went to Deltona for a year.
And then you moved to Texas and came back.
And then came back. So we moved to Texas, and I went to go stay with my dad after like 13 years not seeing him. So
you like you weren't like when you were born, you weren't raised with your dad at all until that time?
Yeah, I never.
So was he present though? Like would he call you and stuff, or was he just like not there for real?
No, I mean Nah, I can't say he was there. I really can't say he was there.
You had a
I
stepdad?
can't say Yeah, I had a stepdad.
So he was like the one that was like your father figure for you.
Yeah, I had a stepdad for like a year. and it went downhill from there.
Tell
So-
us about that.
Was that difficult for you in finding the Lord? Was that why you couldn't like really like get a relationship or?
No, I mean, I was very young. I didn't know nothing. I'm really young, but my stepdad, I didn't really consider him my stepdad.
He was just like your
He
mom's
was my
boyfriend?
stepdad, but it was more, like that's my mother's
Partner.
man.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was really good. He was cool. He used to take us out, blah blah blah. Really cool. And then at one point he started doing drugs and went downhill,
Okay.
breaking windows, and
Yeah.
Everything got crazy.
it went crazy. And my mother, she went through a lot. She went through so much with that man. And you know, she loved him. She tried to take him back. Tried to change him. No.
Yeah.
Do you feel
And-
like watching your mom going through all of that affected you some type of way?
Did you feel like you had to do more for her? Like, did you feel like you
Most
were-
definitely, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it definitely changed me in a good way, not in a bad way. I understood, like, yeah, it's not.
Okay.
I mean, she did what she had to do. Like, we was never hungry. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
She did what she had to
provided.
do. You know.
So
She
you
did what
didn't
she had to
suffer
do.
when you were a child?
My mother, she did what she had to do. She was really, she's a smart woman. Like she, you know, even though she been through so much, you know, she like going from homeless shelter and trying to, she lost custody of us because blah 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 whoop de whoop. We had to live with our grandma, blah blah blah. But she did what she had to do. You know what I'm saying? And we never was, you know. So,
That's cool.
but how I found the Lord.
Who was
Like
the first person that talked to you about God?
Nobody. I didn't know about.
You
none
just
of
found
that.
it on yourself.
Yeah, bro. Like the Lord, He showed Himself to me. You know,
How
I
was
had
that
one
experience?
person, like I said in the other podcast, he prophesied to me. That's what I could say is the only person who ever talked about God, and he was wrong.
Yeah.
This
Like a
man
false
was wrong.
prophet.
Where did you find this guy?
He was my friend at the time,
Oh.
brother,
Okay.
and he was a believer in Christ, and yeah.
So when you were little, you never had like
Like that foundation in God.
No,
No.
no.
Your parents didn't speak, or your mom didn't
Like
speak
we'll
to
go
you,
to
really?
church, but it's not like,
It wasn't like a relationship.
yeah, it was just like we'll go Sunday.
So you basically just like started to como que saber de Dios.
Yeah, you kind of like knew about God, but you didn't know God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like you, but you were ignorant in that moment because you were young. So
I
it
was
wasn't like
heard
you
about
didn't
God,
care
but
about
you
God.
never
thinking about
met
the
him.
game, and
Yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, I moved to Texas. I stayed there for a year. Can you get my chapstick on the floor over there? My lips dry. I moved to Texas. Went there for a year. It was good. Met some friends. Blah blah blah. We in the hood. We in the hood. We in Galveston, Texas. It's a little island. And it's so small. Yeah. It's so small, and everybody know each other. And that's when I started hanging around the wrong people. And that's when I started to smoke weed. I smoked weed, and then I just liked it. And
How old you were by that time?
I was 13 years old.
13.
Yeah, I was 13. That's crazy. Think about that. Like, my brothers is 13, and if I see them smoke, it's up, bro. But I'm 13 years old and I'm smoking. Like, I'm smoking. I'm not like sneaking a blunt. I'm
Yeah.
smoking.
Like on the
I'm rolling
regular.
up every. No, not rolling up. You know the cart? Do you know what that is? The cart?
Yeah, I
Like
know
the-
what you're talking about. Yeah.
the weed pen, and I'm every morning before I go to school, smoking it. Come back, tie my shoes. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
smoking it, and then it became like
Your
I'm
daily
happy.
Taking a
routine.
bath.
And then that's when we moved down back to Deltona. I did my rest of my years
I have a question.
here.
Did you ever, or did anybody, like not anybody in front, but did you ever like get in trouble, like with the police or something because of that? Because you were so young, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Never got caught with that.
No, my mother, she knew. To be
She
honest.
knew?
She
No, yeah.
She bought my first.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
She bought the first pen, and she just allowed me to.
Okay.
But yeah.
No, yeah.
Then
How
I
was the
moved-
life in the hood? Rather
I mean,
than-
it was fun. It was fun. I ain't gonna
He
lie.
did a
It
lot
was-
of things. He broke a lot of windows.
I was roaming the whole little island. with
Not gonna
some-
lie, I didn't talk about this on my testimony because I forgot. But when I lived in the hood in Puerto Rico, it was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Even though you saw like a lot of people with guns and stuff like that, you had like those like kids that
Yeah.
you hang with.
They was always outside. Like that's what made it
yeah,
fun. We
and you
was
have
outside
fun
and-
riding your bicycle and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I moved down to Deltona, and I did all my years here. And that's when in Deltona it really started getting serious when I started smoking. It became like I'm smoking weed. I'm like
habit.
Yeah, it just I'm smoking. Boom boom. I'm smoking all the way to like 10th grade year smoking. And then my mother, she was more into like she started getting into the new age spiritual. How you say that?
Spiritually.
Spirituality.
Spirituality.
That's right. That's a weird word to say.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. She started getting into new age like religion, and you know she started believing in the little crystals, and man, I was like, bro, that's not real, bro.
Yeah.
But me, like her being my mother, it started slowly little getting to me a little bit like, oh, you
Yeah.
know, the bracelets might protect you, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And I started getting a little into that. We went to the, how you say that, the little witch shop, the,
Yeah. I don't
The
know.
well, you know what that
crafts,
is?
like-
The
Terrets? I don't know.
bodega?
Bodega?
That. So we go there, and we get little bracelets and stuff like that. So she was into that, and that's when she wanted to try. This is where I met the Lord. This is like the. She wanted to try shrooms one day.
Okay.
So now this is something different from weed. I'm smoking weed. I'm like used to it. I'm always smoking weed. I'm used to it. And then she wanted to try shrooms, because shrooms were like considered like a spiritual psychedelic. It's a psychedelic plant. Well, fungus. It's a mushroom. And she like, let's do it. So me, my brother, and her was gonna do it. And we, you know, the night of we gonna do it, plug pulled up, got the shrooms, and like we gonna do it. So we set up a fire. We went outside. It's nighttime. We set up a fire pit. We're trying to set the vibe. You know what I'm saying? And that's
You
when
weren't scared?
I was low key little like, oh,
Like
what is
nervous?
this? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I was like,
Having
but
a
I
little
wasn't-
doubts?
Yeah, and I wasn't really too scared because I was like, you know, I'm not gonna take too much.
Okay.
And that's when I took it. Me, my brother, and my mother took it. And I took it, and I'm like, you know, waiting till it kick in, blah, blah, blah. I went to go take a shower, and I'm in the shower, and I'm starting to feel it. I'm like, oh, this is really nice. I'm liking this feeling. You know what I'm saying? That's so embarrassing to say, but yeah, I was like that. I was like, I'm liking this feeling. So I'm like laughing for no reason. And then my sister's friend was there. And that was my friend at the time too. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna ask her if she wanna take it. Cause my sister low-key wanted to take it, but since her friend didn't wanna do it, she didn't wanna take it either. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna ask her. So I went to go ask her, and I'm like high a little bit. And no, I'm high. and I'm like, I was just about to tell her, and I'm like, I was excited to tell her. The second I started approaching her, I got so nervous, and my body started shaking,
Like anxious?
super anxious. My body started shaking, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm already in front of her, and I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta tell her. I can't just turn around and just, I'm gonna look high. I'm gonna look like an idiot. I'm like, just turn around and just, I got so nervous. Like the second I approached her, I was like, you wanna take a shroom? And she was like, no, what? I'm like, oh my God. I look like an idiot. She like, and then she was like, you took it? And I'm like, oh my God. I feel so embarrassed, bro. I feel like embarrassed. I'm like, I wanted to say no, but I'm like, I took it. And I'm like embarrassed. I'm shaking. And she could clearly see that. And she's like upset because the only reason she was like that because her father had a past of doing drugs, like very bad drugs. Like she's seen it all. Like she's seen him do things.
Sí, que a lo mejor verte a ti así, como que reminded her of her
so
father.
she didn't want you going the same
don't do all
path.
that. She said stick to weed. She was like, stick to weed. You don't gotta be doing all that extra because she have that trauma of her father doing, you know, all that extra stuff. And I'm like, oh my, I'm embarrassed and I'm nervous and my body is shaking. I'm like, I couldn't control it. My whole body is shaking. I'm like super nervous. And we went to the garage. We went to go smoke. And she passed me the blunt. And I'm like, I'm trying not to shake. And I'm like, oh my, it was so embarrassing. And I'm grabbing the blunt. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And the way she looking at me, she like, look at this man.
Like disappointed.
What have he done?
Like crackhead, bro. And I'm so embarrassed. And I'm like you just, like, I'm already on it. I can't get unhigh.
Not if you smoking now.
I can't get unhigh. I'm high already.
You
Like,
just have to wait.
you just ruined it for me. Like, I'm nervous. I'm kind of low-key scared a little bit. And then I'm trying to calm myself down. We went outside to the fire pit. It's dark. We sit next to the fire pit. And it's like, I'm so awkward. And I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. I'm high and I'm uncomfortable.
Because you're like in your head.
I'm in my head. I'm so high. I'm in my head. And then I'm like, oh, I need to go get my brother and my mom. Like, they took it too. They need to be here, like, to comfort me. Like, be with me. Like, so I go to my brother's room. And he got the lights off. It's dark. He took it. He took a lot. He took more than me. And I went to get him, and I'm like, Jay, bro, I need you, bro. Like, I'm tripping, bro. Like, my body's shaking. Like, I need you next to me, bro. What are you doing about sleeping? Whole time, bro, going through it in his head. Bro, going through it. He told me I was trying to sleep it off. I don't know what to do. He said, I'm trying to sleep it off. I can't sleep. I'm like, I'm getting scared now. I'm scared. Yeah, what did we do? What did we take, bro? And then that's when he come outside. He calms down. I low-key calm down a little bit. And my mother come outside, and I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm like, trying not to be too much in my head. And I'm like, trying to crack little jokes because it's so like, it's like tension, bro. Like, bro, like, I feel like everybody's staring at me. I'm like high, like a crackhead. And that's when I'm like in the chair, and I'm like, I remember saying these words. I'm like, I am the chair. I'm just saying. Yo. Come on. Hey. I'm saying things 'cause I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm trying to like brighten up. Like, it's so tense.
You trying to make yourself feel good.
I'm just sounding like an idiot, bro. I'm sounding like I look even more dumb.
I identify myself as a chair.
I'm like, I am the chair. And then I just started slowly getting into my head, and I'm like, I don't like this feeling, bro. I don't like this high. Like, I can't get out of it. So I'm like, dang. I'm like in my head, like really in my head. And I'm like, dang, bro, I don't like this high, bro. This is not it. Like, I'm nervous. I'm shaking. I can't get out of it. And then
You feel like you don't have control of yourself.
I don't got control at all. And I started getting a little scared. Like, it was starting to get scary because I don't got control. I can't just get on high. I'm high. Like, it's all in your head. And then I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I was like, what if I got tricked into doing this drug? Like, what if the devil... I started saying it. I'm not knowing about the Lord. Remember, like, I mean, I knew about the Lord, but I never cared.
No, yeah.
Never cared about that stuff. I'm like, what if the devil tricked me to taking this? And I say, I say in my head, what if, and then before I could finish the sentence, what if I'm in hell? I'm like, what if I hear my brother's voice in my head so clearly, and he's doing his own thing behind me. I don't know what bro was doing, but I hear him in my head, and it felt like that was him. It felt like whatever was his physical, that's not him. In the spiritual, he was talking to me, and he was like, before I could finish the sentence, am I in? And I didn't want to say hell. I didn't want to say that word. He said, yeah, Buso. I'm like, oh
my gosh, what the heck?
My hair starts standing. I'm like, I'm shaking right now. Ooh, and then I'm like, no. And he like, I'm sorry. Like, he's like, the way his voice, he was so sad. He said it in a way like, Buso, I'm sorry. Like, I'm supposed to be your big brother, and I allowed you to do this.
He's not talking. He's just on his head.
It's in my head.
Communicating. Oh.
No,
Like
it's
telepathically.
not telepathically. No, it was a spiritual thing on its own. Like, he didn't actually say that to me. And
It's like telepathic.
No.
He says like spiritual, like his
It
like
was-
it was just spiritual.
No, it wasn't.
Algo en la
Like,
cabeza de él.
it was just in my head. It was in my head. He didn't actually like answer my question in real life. You know what I'm
It
saying?
wasn't
Yeah, like,
him.
it
It was
wasn't-
your mind that
mind
created
saying
his
it.
voice in your head.
In my head, and he said, "Yeah, Buso." I'm like, no.
Uy.
And then
Your mind and the mushroom
remember,
created
I'm
it.
next to the fire pit. My whole body felt on fire, and the crackling of the fire, like, it got so, it sounded so clear, and it felt like I was in the middle of the fire in the spiritual realm. Like, it felt like I could see the world, but in the spiritual realm, I'm in the middle of a fire right now. It's so difficult to explain, and I'm like, I started feeling my body start getting on fire. I get up. I'm like, no.
Let me ask you a question. When you felt that after it, ¿tú no piensas que eso fue Dios que te dejó ver eso para que supieras, si no me das tu vida
That's exactly.
y se la das al diablo, esto es lo que te va a pasar?
That's exactly why he had to show me that way. It was no other way he could have showed me. I get scared. I jump up out of my seat. I'm like, no. I'm shaking. I'm nervous. I look to my family. All of them staring at me with a smile on their face, laughing. I'm like, I was like, no, bro. No. And I'm like, no way. I was like, I'm in hell. And the scariest thing about it was like, that the feeling that I felt, it felt so familiar. It felt like I've been here before and I messed up again. That's how it felt like. It felt like the life I had was my second chance, and I ruined it. And I was like, this is it. I was like, there's no way. So I get back down on my seat, and I'm like, God is real. God is real. God is real. God is real. And then something in my head was like, scream it. You have to scream it. You're in hell. You have to scream it. Call out to the Lord. And I'm like, I'm outside. I was like, God is real. God is real. God is real. I started screaming it. I hear my brother's voice. I could only hear my brother's voice. And he like, Buso, calm down. It's okay. It's good. You good. You good. My high went away.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I look like an idiot.
In a second.
It just went away. I'm sober.
That's God.
I'm like, I look like an idiot. I just got up. I'm scared. I'm talking about God is real. God is real. God is real. I look like an idiot to these people. Now, my sister friend, she looking at this. She like, look at his ass, bro. Like, she's like, look at him, bro.
Ay, Jesús.
She like, I told him.
Yeah,
So-
but at that time, what they didn't knew, what was your vision, what you were
But they didn't
seeing.
know what I was seeing. And I understood that I look crazy right now. They're not gonna understand me. And I just more so accepted like I look crazy, and they're not gonna know what I just seen. And I snap out of it, boom. And I'm trying to explain to them like what I just saw. I'm like, I'm trying to explain to them I look like an idiot. They looking at me like I'm an idiot. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the high is snapped away, and then it came back.
Oh no.
I thought it was over with. Nope. I thought it
'cause you
was
stopped.
over with. No. Nah.
I think that was like, it might have been God too, showing you
Yeah, I know it was
what they
God.
were thinking about you since you did that.
Yeah. So I snap back into the high. I'm high again. It's so weird. Like you just slowly enter. It more feel like you enter into the spirit realm than be high. It was like at first I felt like a high, like when I was gonna tell my sister friend, it was like a high. And then it wasn't a high no more. It was more so the Lord allowed me to see in the spirit. I could see the demons. Nobody knew about God. Nobody knew about God. And the demons that probably were in them, I was allowed to see them. And they're like,
They're laughing about you.
they're laughing at me. And their smile like,
Oh my gosh, that's so
I was
creepy.
like, oh my God.
Yeah, like the movies, that big smiles they
the,
have.
the movie Smile. I ain't want to watch that because it just remind me of that. And then I snap back into the high, and it's like a quick spiritual, like I enter the spirit, and I'm like in a quick, like it just switched to like I'm getting buried alive. It was weird. It felt like I was on the ground, and I'm getting buried alive by my sister's friend. And I'm like, I'm scared. I'm like, what the heck? And I snap back out of it, and I'm just standing still. So now
like you
I don't know
having
what's
visions.
real or what's fake. I'm like, oh my God. No,
You were
I
lost.
was like, I messed up. I messed up so bad. I'm like, bro, what the heck? And then I'm like, I need to go inside. I need to get away from the fire. Like, I need to go inside. As I'm walking, I'm like going in and out of like spirit world. It's like if I can clearly feel it, I'm going in and out like it's hard to describe. And then as I'm walking, I heard my mother and my sister voice inside of my head, and they say, Buso, follow the light. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, when they said it, it was like more so like follow the light physically, like actually go to the light, go in the light, get out the darkness. And it was like in a spiritual sense, like follow Jesus. Like she was like, Buso, follow the light. And it was like, oh my God. And it was like all in my head. And when they said that, I was like, oh my gosh, they're in heaven. They're in heaven right now. I'm the only one on earth left. That's how it felt. I was tripping. I'm like, I'm the only one on earth left. Like this was my second chance, and I blew it. I go in the house. I'm tripping. I keep on snapping out of it and going. I keep on going sober, completely sober, and then going back into the high. That was the most hardest part. And then I go into the room, and I just want my mother and my brother there, and I'm trying to get them, my sister and her friend, I'm trying to get them out the room, and I'm like pushing the door. They pushing back, like, bro, get out. Like, I don't want you here, bro. You the cause this. I'm like, I don't want you here. You need to go. They bust through. They came in.
How old you were when this happened?
I'm like, probably like 16. So yeah. I'm like 16 years old, and then I just wanted my mother and my sister my mother and my brother in the room because they're the only ones that took it with me. They're the only ones that are the closest to understanding what
What's
I'm going
going
through.
on? Yeah.
And whole time while that's all going on, I forget that I took the shroom. That memory of taking something, it went away. That memory of even taking the mushroom, it went away. And I'm like, I'm in hell. That was like my thought, like, I'm in hell. I'm in hell. And it was so scary. Like, I was like, I knew 100% I was in hell. And then I'm going crazy. I'm trying to explain to them what I just seen. I'm trying to explain to them what I just seen. And my mother, she say, it's like every word my mother said was like, it wasn't her who said it. She said it in the physical
Real life.
realm,
Okay.
but it was the Lord speaking through her. And she say, every word she say, it was like, Buso, remember you're on shrooms. And it's like when the way she say it, it's like, boom. Like every word she said was just, it's weird. Like every word she said was like slowly leading me through the trip. And she was like, Buso, remember you're on shrooms. And the memory of me taking the shrooms all came back. And I'm like, oh, I knew. I was like, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. And that's when she's like, Buso, go take a shower. You need to go take a shower. You need to wash your face. Go do something. Go put water on yourself. And I'm like, that's not gonna work, bro. I'm not tripping. I'm trying to explain to them whatever we took, this is something spiritual. This is not a drug that we just, this is not weed. This is not that. This is not no party drug. This is a spiritual drug. Like, I'm trying to tell him that, and I just sound like crazy. I'm sounding like crazy. And that's when I come back, and I'm like, I'm going crazy, and that's when I just hug my mother. I just hug her. And I'm like, I'm scared. I'm so scared. I'm like, I just want this to stop, bro. Because it already felt like forever. It felt like it felt like it was never going to end. So I just hug her.
You took like a whole piece, or you took
I took the whole thing. It was the whole thing.
Oh my God.
He said,
So
YOLO.
you were feeling the psychedelic effect, el efecto psicodélico. Right here it says, las drogas psicodélicas y disociativas alteran temporalmente el pensamiento, el estado de ánimo y la percepción de la realidad.
So yeah, it like changes reality for you.
Las personas que consumen estas sustancias declaran sentir emociones fuertes que van desde una felicidad intensa y un sentimiento de conexión hasta el miedo, la ansiedad y la confusión, que era lo que tú estabas sintiendo.
Yeah.
Miedo, estabas confundido.
Understand the meaning?
Yeah, the meaning of psychedelic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did all the research.
Yeah.
After that, I was so interested into it, of what it was. Where I was at?
You took a shower, you hugged your mom.
You
I
hugged your
hugged my
mom.
mother. Yeah, I hugged my mother. And I'm scared. I'm so scared. I'm like, I'm here forever. I was like in my head, like, I'm here forever. There's no going back.
No, you have to
And-
like put it up right here and down in the middle. Yep.
Okay.
Technical.
And then I'm scared. I'm like, this is never gonna end. And I'm like, I'm like accepting it almost. And then I look at my mother. I'm hugging her. I look at her. Inside of my head, I say, Ma, you can hear me? And her eyes said, she was like, what? And she say, and I hear her say in my head, she say, oh my gosh. Her eyes opened up. She said, she didn't say nothing.
She didn't say nothing. You just, oh my God.
It was crazy. And I'm thinking, okay, this is all in my head. I'm like, I'm going crazy. I'm like, I'm going crazy, bro.
Oh my God.
She opened her eyes and I hear her voice say, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, I'm in hell. I had to go somewhere. I went somewhere, blah, blah, blah. I don't really remember too much what happened after that. But I do remember we all went into my mother's room and the whole family went in there. Everybody went in there. And we sat down on her bed. And all three of us, me, my mother, and my brother, all of our highs just left all at once. All at once just left. And a peace, like this calmness just filled the room. And it was like, oh my. And I knew right there when I felt the calmness and peace, I was like, it's finally over. I was like, oh, never again. Never again, bro. And like I said, when me and my mother spoke in our heads, I'm thinking that's all in my head. After the trip, after all that happened, I asked her, I was like, Ma, did we remind? And she was like, yes. And she was like, what? Like, she didn't understood. Like, she was like, did you read my mind? And I was like, what in the world? It was like, I thought that was just in my head. I was like, I'm already going crazy. I'm like, this is in my head. And it felt like after everything, it felt like the Lord had to let that happen to show me that this wasn't just in my head. And us speaking, how you say that?
Telepathically?
That word. It just showed me like that was in my head. Whatever I seen, everything I went through was real. The Lord allowed me to see that. I was able to see in the spirit. And it was just crazy. That was it. Yeah, that's really it.
From that to you, I start like searching for the God. How would that happen?
Right
This
there.
is part of that. What makes you like go search for God?
That was the big. He showed me he was real. He showed me like he allowed me to see that hell is real. And he was speaking to me. He was speaking to me the whole time. Like it was a thought so powerful. Like it was crazy. And yeah, and then ever since that day, I followed the Lord. And I wasn't perfect. I continued to smoke, but I understood in the back of my head, this is wrong. That thought wasn't there before. That thought wasn't there of this is wrong. I love weed. I said I'm never going to quit smoking. I'm going to be an old man smoking weed. But that thought of guilt, of me smoking is wrong, I slowly started moving away from it. And I didn't want to tell my sister. I didn't want to tell my sister's friend. So every time we'll smoke a blunt, I'll fake smoke the blunt. And I'm just like in my head like, this not right. And I'm like fake smoking the blunt. And yeah, and then ever since that day, I gave my life to Christ. I knew he was real. I knew whatever he showed me was real. And yeah, that's really it.
So,
That's
hold on. So from your experience and like, you know, you giving your life to Christ, where did like church or like that come in? So like before you came to our church, were you going to any church? Did you try to start like going to church?
I believe, to me at that time, I was like, you don't need to go to church.
No, yeah.
I was like that. I was like,
It was like, it's your relationship with God, not,
it's
you
a
know.
relationship. That's what I was saying. I was like, I don't need to go to a church.
Alright.
Especially none of my family went to church. I have no vehicle.
No, yeah.
I can't go to. I can't just
So
drive a car.
did like you come into our church? Like, you know how like it started? It was, what was the first thing you did? It was the camp, right?
Yeah,
Retreat.
the camp was the first thing.
Yeah, the retreat. So did that, like, how did that play a part in your path?
That
you know what I'm
really
saying?
played a big part because I realized.
But wait. Before that, did you went to church?
Yeah, that's what I asked him. He said
Yeah,
no.
I went
He
to,
said no.
No, I went to church like here and there,
Yeah, but when you weren't like going to church.
I wasn't
and, like,
going to
Committed.
church.
Exactly.
like,
You were just
like
until-
how now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? No.
So the retreat, how did the retreat and like you coming into our church and our youth group, how did that like change you?
Going to that retreat, it showed me that you don't need church to find the Lord. The Lord will come to you wherever you are. It don't matter. You don't need church, but church helps you along your walk. Me quitting smoking was easy because it was on my heart that this is wrong. And when I tried to smoke again, the same feeling happened again. The fire on my body happened again. And I'm like, I couldn't. And that happened, right? Didn't learn my lesson. Smoked again. Didn't learn my lesson. Smoked again. Didn't learn my lesson and smoked again. And that's when it finally cut out. And like that's why you need church. It helps you along your walk. I couldn't move away from that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you go to church to help your walk.
Yeah, it
go to
intrudes
church.
you and it like keeps you on the path.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Because it's like it's good to feel yourself like, oh, you know, this is wrong. But when you see other people telling you like you could do this, you know what I'm saying? Like when you see other people too, because you know how the pastor, you go to church and the pastor's like, I was a drug addict. I did cocaine. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, you did cocaine. I was like, you know, it wasn't cocaine, but you know, it's still bad at some point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, you did that. I could do this. You know what I'm saying? And you feel more like, you know, I feel I could do it.
That was like, it really showed me like when I came to the camp, I was like, I'm gonna start going to church.
Yeah.
Because it was like, this is gonna help my walk. This is gonna take away the sins I'm struggling with.
And is that where you at camp? Was that when you were like, I should get baptized?
I was like, yeah, and I believed in God. I believed in the Lord. It was no doubt in the Lord. But I just never went to church.
Yeah,
I just never went to church.
And it was just that little block with the weed and all that stuff that blocked you from really, you know? Yeah.
Antes de eso, quería preguntarte porque ya eso de el retiro y eso es más pronto. Pero antes ya atrás, cuando tenías 16, 15 años, esas fueron las únicas dos drogas que consumiste, el mushroom y la marihuana.
Well, when I was in Texas, 13 years old, I tried a LSD tab. It's like a little... The little sticker. Yeah.
¿Y cómo te fue con eso?
That's like a... Nah, that junk like a... I was hyped up. I wanted to go play basketball. I had so much energy.
It was like
weed
hyper.
And that's like, nah. That's
acid.
Oh, it's acid.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just...
Sí, que tú te pones la lengua y se va disolviendo.
How you know that? Next time we gotta ask him. He gotta be the
gotta
next.
ask him.
He gotta be the next.
Yo nunca lo he hecho, pero yo conozco gente.
No, but
Nah,
yeah,
but he
entonces
definitely
esas
gotta
fueron
be the
las
next.
that's
únicas
like,
tres.
yeah, but you see, I was lost. Like, you know,
No, yeah, you
Okay.
thought it was okay. You thought it was okay. There wasn't wrong in your heart back then.
And-
I was like, let's...
I feel like
Let's
right
turn
from
up.
hearing your story, like that you were saying that you were in hell. That also, from what I'm seeing, I feel like it could also be a way of God telling you, if you keep doing this, this is where you're gonna end up.
That's what he was showing me.
No, yeah, it's like
That's
this is
what
your
I got
last
from
chance.
it. I'm like, he allowed me to see hell of what's gonna happen if I do not repent and come to him.
Yeah.
Antes de... Ya, finish.
And yeah, that was just, yeah.
Antes de llegar a la iglesia, ¿pasaste por algún tipo de depresión? ¿Te cortaste? Algo así.
Yeah,
A what?
Did you ever
Do you-
have like a depression or
do
like
you
did you ever
cut
like try to hurt
yourself?
yourself
Something like
before coming to church?
No.
It was just like the drugs. So like, you was just like you kind of had like a normal life with yourself. It was just you were always into drugs. And that
Yeah.
was something that was more like through your family, you know, passed down.
Yeah.
You know, there's things called generational curses that we also should go into that like in another podcast.
Oh yeah, that's very
And
true.
that's something that goes down like being an alcoholic or like, you know, going into drugs, you know. You've seen that when you were younger. And it's not that they were bad parents to you, you know what I'm saying? They never like, really abused you, but that's a way of like, you know, it's like, you did that, so I saw that, and it was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, your mom
Yeah.
bought your first, like, thing, so it's like, you know, it it wasn't right, but it was like normal. So it's
Yeah,
like
it was just normal.
It was just it's
Yeah.
like a generational curse. But then when you come and change that curse, it's like now you're like, oh, my little brother ain't doing this.
That's exactly.
'Cause
bro.
now you
I was
changing-
his
you changing-
age doing
exactly.
that. If I see him do that,
You changing the
Oh
you, like
my goodness.
you changing that generational curse. You're like, nope, no more. And then your
Yeah.
kid's not gonna do that because
Yeah.
you're like, I know what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's real good. You know, that's God.
but nobody really believed. Nobody
Nobody
believed,
believed.
bro. Nobody at all. And that's
Like what happened to you? That
No,
nobody-
no. They believe me.
believe
They
in
believe
God.
me because
Oh.
they see me
They didn't
now.
believe
I'm
in
going to
God.
church
Yeah.
every day.
They just
They
didn't
see the
believe
way
in
I
God.
am. I stopped cursing and stopped smoking. That was like
Okay.
¿Tienes,
they
al-
seen me change.
¿Tienes alguna otra historia que te impactó cuando eras más pequeño? Something, another history that
Another story.
impact you.
I got two questions for you that goes with that. Like, how was your relationship with your mom and dad? The influence that relationship between you and your parents influence on you to use drugs or stuff that you did that wasn't right.
Well, my dad, he was never there. I can't say he was there.
But when you went to Texas, like, did you
We-
see stuff that you were like, oh, it's okay?
I mean, he smoked weed, but it was normal. Like, they good parents. Like, they really try their best. They was never bad parents, but we just didn't have that relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We never had a relationship. And with my mother too, like, to be honest, even now, it be, I don't say, I love you to my mom. It just feel awkward. And that's like, I noticed that, and it's like, that some ain't right. It's not right. My mother, she don't like that. Like, you know how you on the phone with your mom, you about to hang up, "All right, ma, I love you."
Yeah.
I don't do that. It feel awkward doing that. That's not right.
Yeah.
And it's like something I'm slowly trying to change. Like, I'll start saying it jokingly, but it just feels so awkward.
No,
Cause she
yeah.
not like that. She don't be, "I love you." We don't give hugs. So that's like, that could be one reason. Like, she not emotional. That's how you say it, right? Emotional with her
she's not.
kids.
Yeah.
Affectionate.
Affectionate.
You know what? You can change that as soon as
Yeah,
you
I know.
start, as soon as you start showing her love, because probably
Yeah.
she wasn't used to that either.
Yeah, I know.
All her life, or
Yeah.
maybe her parents don't be like that. But if you showed her that's probably can make a change on
Yeah.
her, and it's gonna
Yeah.
see the love of God
Yeah.
on you, showing it to her.
Yeah.
That could
So-
also help with your relationship with her as
Yeah,
well.
that's why I started slow. I realized that because I asked my sister that. I was like, "We never say I love you to ma," and she like, "Yeah, ma, I don't like that for some reason." It's like, I don't know. She don't say I love you. Or we don't give hugs. It be awkward. I don't want to say awkward because I be changing it slowly. Like, I be giving her hugs, here and there. But it's not normal.
It's not normal. It's not the
normal.
usual.
I can't. It's not normal.
So your mom, she's still like, she don't believe in God for real.
No, she
don't-
understand. Like, I talk to her, but she more so. I just gotta continue praying for her. She has to experience that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? She has to experience that.
Exactly.
Tu testimonio no es algo que la conmueva a ella.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
have
she
you-
changed. She stopped all that crystal stuff. I told her, "Ma, that's not right."
No, yeah.
I said, "Ma, that's not right."
Mm-hmm.
I was telling her,
That-
and she stopped all that. She stopped believing in the tarot cards. You know,
Yeah, the
she
tarot
was
cards, yeah.
she was into that stuff, like the tarot cards, and
No, yeah.
I'll be having dreams about her shuffling. You know how the people be shuffling, like, and yeah, I told her like I'll be having dreams of her, shuffling it and doing the readings and stuff like that. She believe in that stuff, and she stopped all that. So
Oh, wow.
Muy
That's
bien.
good as a change. That means God's working, We just gotta keep praying.
keep praying for it. I want her to like
process.
experience the Lord and really fall in love with the Lord and
And
feel the love of the Lord.
I think good thing that God chose you.
Yeah.
Cause He could have chose your big brother. He could have chose your mom to help your family. But that was like your role. You know what I'm saying? Cause He helped you. He had you see these things, and now you're gonna help. Cause you're gonna help your little sister. You're gonna help your mom. You're gonna help your family fall into that.
Yeah.
Like the Lord's real. Like it's not okay to be doing these drugs. So you just like that's your role as like you know, God
No, porque
called you.
quizá Dios lo hizo así porque era su misión, ya que quizá su hermano no
Exactly,
iba a
that's what
poder
I'm saying.
lograrlo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, God like called them to do this. That's why He showed you all these things, you know.
Desde que llegaste a la iglesia, ¿has tenido alguna experiencia bonita con el Señor o algo que ha cambiado fuertemente?
The retreat, it was very powerful.
Yeah.
And
Have you ever had like a dream or somebody tell you something like now that you're in church that it was like
Have you had like
confirming
any
or, like,
experience
confirming
with
that
God
it's the
or
yeah,
I had
like
this one
experience.
dream. Look, it was this one dream I had. Remember, I'm new to the Lord. The Lord just showed himself to me. I don't know nothing about him. I didn't read no Bible. I slowly started to try to read the Bible. I read Matthew. I read the whole Matthew. It was so interesting to me. And I have a dream. I'm outside in my backyard, and it's this little play, the little kids play slide. I'm on that. I'm just crouched down like this. I got a cup in my hand, and it's raining, and I see the rain drop. I look at the cup. Every time the rain drop, it turns into blood, and I'm like, oh, it's like raining blood. And the dream was blurry. The dream was really blurry. And I'm in the dream and I'm looking around the corner of my dream. And it's black. It's like a limit. I was like, this is a dream. I say that in my head. I'm like, I'm in a dream, and I like force my eyes open. Like I'm like, it felt like I was ripping my eyes open. I'm like ripping my eyes open. And I'm actually, it was crystal clear, and I'm in it. I'm like, what the? I'm like, what? It was incredible. I'm like, no, bro, what the? It was so crystal clear, and I'm like, I'm in this dream. Like, I'm like, I could jump, okay. I could raise this hand, okay. I could raise this hand, okay. I'm turning around, I'm like, what? And it's raining like blood. Boom, hop out the dream. I go into Revelation, or I don't remember too much of what it was, but it talked about the last days. It will rain blood, something like that. I don't really remember the verse. I don't know if you could pull it up, but it talk about raining blood. I'm like, this is the Lord. This is the Lord, and He talking to me, and that to me in my life that confirmed it. I have a dream about something that's in the Bible I never knew about.
That's like confirmation.
That was the confirmation. Like,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And
Oh, what was the thing? Like, I know it's another subject, something I forgot to ask. Like, when you were in the retreat, what makes you like sad?
God's real. Like, was it like, cause I know your sister got prayed for. Like, was you
What?
feeling it? Like,
oh yeah, you feel the Holy Spirit. Like, you
so
feel
you
it.
like,
Like
you
like
just felt it.
you getting your eyes watering.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like I'm trying not to cry.
No,
like,
yeah, it's something different.
I'm trying not to cry, but it was like,
Yeah.
I ain't want to cry in front of nobody. Like, I'm new to
Yeah.
this, you know what I'm saying? I ain't want to cry in front of nobody,
Yeah.
so I'm holding in my tears, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I really felt the Lord, and especially when the Lord touched Willow
Yeah.
and touched my sister, that made me so emotional. I was like happy, like I was like, things is changing, bro. I was so happy. I'm like, I can do this together. I can do this with somebody. I'm not alone no more. I'm not the only one in my family now. I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was so happy. Like, I was so proud of them.
You saw God's
And I was
work.
like, I get to do this with them. And yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
A lo que busco esto, te iba a preguntar, también, ¿alguna persona ha profetizado en ti? They have
Has
prophesied
anybody
on you?
prophesied on
And-
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like after
¿Qué te-
After that,
what? ¿De qué?
Que si alguna vez en su vida, desde que llegó a la...
After you got to like the foot of Christ, like, you know.
Ajá,
after
desde
you
que
got to
llegó a
church.
la-
it's this
a la religión.
Yeah, it's this lady in the church. I
In
don't
the
know
church?
her name.
What she look like?
She a prophet.
Lucy. Is it
Lucy,
Is it
yeah,
the
Lucy.
red hair?
Red hair, yeah. She told me I'm gonna be an evangelist, and she told me, she was like, it's gonna be a time where you're gonna be in isolation. I was in isolation for the longest, bro. I ain't had no friends, none of that. Everything cut off everything. I ain't had no friends, nothing. I was by myself, and I was good by myself. I knew I needed to be by myself.
It's like Jesus in the desert.
I knew I needed to be by myself, and it'll feel very lonely. Yeah, it definitely did. But yeah, she prophesied that. She says, "Gonna be times you feeling lonely, and you're gonna be an evangelist." And that's really it.
So, in Revelations 8:6, it says, "And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire, mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burned up, and all green grass was burned up."
So yeah, blood.
So that's what it says. I have another question for you. Since you got to church, have you feel like stepping away from church and not going no more to church?
Yeah, did
Like
you ever
now?
have like that?
Yeah.
like
Since
a
you got
tough
to
time?
church.
No, never. I fell
No?
in love with it, especially you guys. Y'all pushed me to the max, bro.
Amen.
Yeah.
So, also, I have a question. This might be a little personal, but you seeing that the people that you started to go to church with, you know, Willow, your sister, you know, you seeing them kind of step away from, like, at least our church, you know.
yeah.
Did you ever feel the way, like, maybe I should step out too, like,
No.
nah,
never,
you were just
never,
clear in God.
Never.
You felt
I
like that
just
was the
prayed
place?
for them, like, you know what I'm saying. Hopefully they come back.
Amen.
But never. Like I don't want this to end. That's how I have no other friends. No cap. I have nobody else.
No, yeah.
So, and it's not just for the friends. Like I came to church for the Lord.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
meeting you guys was a plus.
Yes, but he
Exactly.
basically put us in your path.
Exactly. And I'm for real grateful. When I'm by myself, I be praying. Thank you, Father God, because that was a prayer I was praying. It was a prayer.
Que se
and-
cumplió.
yeah, it was fulfilled.
Mira, en la Biblia, en Hebreos 10:25, habla sobre go to church, congregarnos. Y dice, no dejemos de congregarnos, como acostumbran a hacer algunos. Like some people do, that they used to like go to church and then they step apart and they don't go to church no more. Sino, animémonos unos a otros y con mayor razón ahora que vemos que aquel día se acerca. You understood everything?
Wait, no.
So basically, don't apart from church, and instead of aparting from church, get each other closer to church now that the days like come closer.
O
So,
dice
like, the days of
animar,
Jesus coming.
anima a los,
Yeah,
a los demás.
like help
Motivate.
everybody.
Motivate others to go to church since the last day is coming, is close.
Yeah.
The day for God to come.
And you know what evangelist does, right?
Yeah.
That's your job.
Yeah.
From now, you know, the prophecy fulfills, but you gotta make it fulfill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you just sit there and don't do it, then it's not gonna fulfill.
I mean, we've.
You.
Mala mía, dale, go.
Yeah, okay. You know, you at the. She told you that, and you believe it, right? Because you believe in God.
Yeah.
Now is your time, and you don't just have to evangelize on people. Like, you don't gotta go like to Texas and evangelize. You know what I'm saying? The time will come, but right now you start evangelizing your home.
Yeah.
You start
that's a big
evangelizing.
thing,
Yeah, you start evangelizing your family. You start evangelizing the people with your tattoos. You know, you talked about that.
Oh, I
you
be
you
definitely
meet a
talking
lot
about
of
that.
people.
I
You
met
know
a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
people and I evangelized. them.
Exactly. You just told
I
them.
evangelized before she told me that, and
Exactly.
that just
yeah,
made it a
'cause-
plus. And
Exactly. It adds up.
Yeah.
The plan of God is the perfect plan, so it's always gonna add up. So now, like, is you really putting up like I'm gonna evangelize? You know what I'm saying? I think you got it, cause I think you got that charisma to like talk to
See.
people. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, not taking, but some people are meant to go through things so that other people can like relate to them. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people that can't relate with me because I always lived in a Christian household. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, you lived in a not perfect, but you know, it was a Christian household.
Yeah.
You know, like you never got away from God for real. And it's like you had your experience. You know what I'm saying? So you can go in places that I can't go because people don't look at me like they look at you. They look at you like dumb. You know? And they don't look at me like that because I'm such a like Christian. You know what I'm saying? And you could evangelize to people that maybe don't want to be evangelized. You know what I'm saying? Because you went through those things too.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just use your experiences to the plus, you know, for the glory of God.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
La Biblia también habla sobre
The Bible also speaks about.
¿tú entiendes? Sí.
Yeah, but some,
Te lo voy a leer lo que dice en inglés para que te haga más fácil entenderlo. Pero que habla sobre seguir a Dios o seguir a los dioses que pueden llegar a servir tus ancestros o tus padres. Dice en Joshua 24:15, choose this day who you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose lands you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. What that says, keep praying, keep getting that connection with God, because it's in the Bible that you and your house will serve the Lord.
Yeah.
Let's say your mom might not convert into like the real religion and start trusting in God, but when you create a family, that like, ¿cómo tú dices semilla en inglés?
Seed.
Yes.
That seed that you are planted, it will like transfer to your kids and your wife when you have one. So keep serving the Lord, because that's gonna help you, and not only you but your family.
Dice la misma, como está diciendo la palabra, dice que tú y tu casa.
Yeah, I remember when Pastor preached about that. That was like
Tú y
really
tu casa.
powerful.
So, tú sigue orando por tu casa, por ti mismo,
Yeah.
a mantenerte firme. Stay firm. And si tú te mantienes firme, Dios va a hacerlo con tu familia también. Es parte de la promesa de Dios.
I don't want.
Mira Yari, producto de eso, su papá estuvo firme y ella entró.
Yeah.
Todavía faltan cosas que pasen, pero se están dando.
Yeah.
Same in my house. My stepdad started going to church again. I have brought my brothers to church, and we're working on that. But I don't want to make it like too long. La última pregunta que quiero hacer para terminar, como quien dice, es ¿cómo te ves ahora en el futuro en la iglesia? ¿Te ves tocando batería, guitarra todavía? How you see yourself in the future in the church?
Yeah, being part of the
Do you still
worship
group.
worship group?
Yeah, definitely playing guitar, and I just want to be a part of it. I want to be helping. I just want to be a part of it.
Is there
any
any-
way I could?
Is there anything
Evangelizing.
else you want to do?
did you ever see yourself like preaching?
That prophesy of you being evangelized. Are you thinking? Have you thought about that? You get ready for that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about like preaching the word of God?
Like being a pastor?
Not a pastor. You don't gotta be pastor to preach. Evangelize, priest too.
I
Just-
never thought of that. No,
Just preach.
I
Never
never thought of that.
Like talk to the people.
God throw a word on you. You're gonna
Yeah.
be evangelized. You gotta
Exactly.
Get ready for that.
And, yeah,
That's not being a
evangelize.
pastor. That's preaching.
Yeah.
And God
To the
taking you
nations.
To nations. To
Yeah.
different places.
I never thought of that though, but that's something.
There's something to prepare for.
Yeah.
So right now
definitely
you only
prepared.
see yourself playing on the worship.
Yeah, being
Worshiping God.
Yeah, worshiping and yeah.
Or do you have anything else that you have to add to your
No,
thing?
that's really it. That's
That's
really
really
it. Like just like I said, and when I first started, I thought I didn't need church. But going to church, it showed me this is gonna help me. Surrounding yourself around the right people
Amen.
is gonna help you get through your walk. Yeah, that's
Sí,
it.
eso te va a ayudar.
Alright.
Bueno,
Yeah.
en verdad que me sorprendió
That
todo lo que
concludes
hablaste.
today's podcast.
Así que para los que nos ven,
Redes sociales.
no, ¿en qué cámara está?
La tuya.
Allá, esta, la del medio. Para los que nos ven, le damos las gracias nuevamente por estar un nuevo día, un testimonio fuerte que muchas personas se pueden identificar con él. De verdad que fue una experiencia brutal sentarse aquí, escucharte, decir todo lo que tienes que decir y contar a la gente que eso también los puede ayudar a ver a Dios de una diferente manera y ver cómo pueden acercarse a Dios, como tú lo hiciste. Le damos gracias por quedarse hasta el final del video, verlo. Fue un video más que bueno. Fue
Poderoso.
una cosa brutal.
Claro.
Y pues le damos gracias. Nos pueden seguir en nuestras redes del podcast, de Joy Podcast, en
TheJoyPodcast.tv on Instagram. and
en
on
Instagram, de Joy, ¿cómo es? Dilo en español para la gente que está.
TikTok. TheJoy.tv.
You saying that, punto.
De joy.tv.
De Joy.tv.
Ustedes entienden.
De Joy.tv en Instagram. También tenemos una página en Facebook. Busquen el loguito que tenemos en Instagram. Esa fotito, la que tenemos aquí también en YouTube. Es la que tenemos en todas las redes sociales. Nos pueden seguir en TikTok. Vamos a dejar las redes sociales en la descripción. Y pues nos pueden seguir y compartir el video, como siempre lo han hecho. Así que les damos las gracias y pues Dios me los bendiga, muy importante. Y sigan sirviendo al Señor y no se rindan en este camino que no es fácil, pero la recompensa va a ser más que buena.
Yes.
Así que
Yep.
nos vemos en la próxima.